This is the CHQ Weekly Brief, brought to you by SmallStep. SCEP is a password. Passwords get stolen. Real Zero Trust starts with the device. Begin with Wi-Fi. Extend across apps and infrastructure. And by Opal Security, the programmable access platform bridging policy intent and enforcement, combining AI with CISO context and an engineer's precision. For most of a decade, security teams ran on one assumption. If someone is exploiting a flaw before the vendor even admits it exists, you are dealing with a serious adversary. Patient, resourced, probably state level. That belief shaped how every alert got triaged. This week, it cracked. From 3 directions at once, none of them coordinated. Start with the regulator, because that surprised me most. The United States Cybersecurity Agency threw out its federal remediation rulebook. The old model ranked danger by severity score and by a catalog of known exploited flaws. The new one asks 4 questions. Is the system exposed? Is the flaw already being exploited? Can the attack be automated? How much control does it hand over? The worst combination gets a 3-day deadline, plus an order to check whether you were already breached before you patch. Sit with that. A binding directive now tells agencies to assume the attacker may already be inside. You do not write that unless you have accepted you are routinely behind. But notice what the directive does not say. It says nothing about who holds the capability. Only that speed and automation now set the clock, not theoretical severity. So what changed in the field to force that? 2 cases from opposite corners. In the first, an extortion crew known for stealing credentials and abusing tokens ran an unpatched flaw in a major enterprise platform for 2 weeks before the vendor said a word. More than 100 organizations hit. Pre-advisory exploitation in the wild, by an actor the model placed a tier too low. They may have built the capability or simply bought it. For the defender, it does not matter. The exploit arrived early, in hands the model did not expect. The second case looks similar and is completely different. A lone researcher, feuding with a major vendor over disclosure, published a working exploit for that vendor's own security product. It grants full system access on fully patched machines, and an independent firm reproduced it. But this is not covert exploitation, it is publication. The researcher posted the key and walked away. Earlier tools from the same person have already turned up in live intrusions, picked up by opportunists after release, not developed by them. The norm that used to hold exploit availability in check was social, not technical. Coordinated disclosure. When a researcher stops honoring it, nothing stops publication, and no sophisticated adversary is required anywhere in the story. So watch the 2 directions. In one, capability reached up to a lower-tier actor. In the other, it was published down into the open, where the next user's skill is irrelevant. Develop, acquire, or publish. Different routes, one result. Pre-patch exploit availability is no longer reliably bounded by attacker sophistication. There was a third signal this week, a major browser engine taking its 5th exploited flaw of the year. On its own, that is unremarkable for a target that size, and I will not pretend it proves the thesis. It carries the timing half and nothing more. Exploitation keeps its own schedule, indifferent to the patch calendar. The 2 actor cases carry the harder half. I will be honest about the limit. 2 cases is a convergence, not a proven trend. And it reads 2 ways. Either capability is genuinely spreading to more actors, or it is just moving through the ecosystem faster, through quicker publication and a more liquid exploit market. Different conditions, different long-term stakes. But at the point of contact, this week, both produce the same effect. The exploit arrives early, in the wrong hands, however it got there. Here is the consequence. Sophistication tier has quietly been a triage shortcut. This would take a serious actor. Serious actors are rare, so my risk is lower. Every step assumes availability tracks the actor. That link is failing. You may still need to know who an adversary is. You can no longer let the actor tell you the timing. It is also why the regulator reached for those 4 questions instead of a severity score. When you can no longer trust the proxy for who is on the other end, you fall back to the variables that still behave. This has been Cybersecurity HQ. We observe structural conditions. This is not threat intelligence, and it is not remediation advice. Watch the boring 4: exposure, exploitation, automation, control. They will carry more of your weight than they used to.